So Beyond the Gates, I thought it was fantastic. It's made our picks of what to watch at the festival. What was it about the script that really hooked you when you read it?
I read it before it was even in production. I thought it was a great script. I didn't necessarily know that I was going to be cast in it. Jackson Stewart works with almost an ensemble company of some of the same actors and creative professionals, and then the technical professionals, from his short films through his different projects. So most of us got carried along to Beyond the Gates. He's very loyal, he's very supportive to his friends. Because I grew up in this era, I love the 80s throwback to that golden age of horror with saturated colors and practical effects and synth scores and real characters and story development and investing the time rather than getting to what we not necessarily disparagingly called torture porn. Like, I don't need a huge amount of gore in the first shot. I don't need a lot of gristle and grue that isn't motivated or isn't necessarily connected with the story. If a character is going to suffer, if the character is going to have a shocking moment, having a feeling about them will make that moment so much more profound. So yeah, the story construction of the characters, I think, on the page really hooked me right off the bat. You don't see how everything else is going to come together until you're on set visually, but he's got a wonderful vision, and I think this is a hell of a breakout first movie for him.
And were you familiar with video board games before the film?
I was. I never played them myself, but I certainly played a lot of 80s and 90s era tabletop games and role-playing and stuff like that, and video games. But like a lot of us involved with the project, I didn't actually play the VHS board games. Now I kind of want to. I wish people were still making them. I think it'd be wonderful fun for actors. And I don't know that there are any plans afoot, but I think it would be a great thing to include with a Blu-ray box set, as some kind of fold-out game you could actually play along. Because, by the way, a designer did a stunning job designing the actual board game for the game, and I think it's very much in the style, but at the same time original.
And, you also have horror royalty in the shape of Barbara Crampton. How is she to work with?
Oh, she's a doll. She's smart and savvy and a good businesswoman and a hell of an actor and just a supportive and loving colleague. We have a special relationship, and I've known her for over 5 years now. How a lot of us came to Jackson Stewart is through Stuart Gordon, who he used to work with, and Graham Skipper, the star of the movie, and he played Herbert West and I played Dr. Hill in Reanimated the musical, which Stuart Gordon, the filmmaker, adapted for the stage himself with the original effects crew. Graham, for example, has decapitated me 200 times now on stage, so we have a special friendship. But Barbara's always been very supportive of the show, and of course I was a fan of the movie. I mean, from teenage years, that movie is a come-to-Jesus moment in terms of like the frights and the laughs and just the wonderful story of it. So it was an honor being involved with that property, but we also have a special friendship because David Gale sadly is no longer with us. He's been dead for a very long time, for 25 years at least. And so as the living Dr. Hill, and she's Meg, we have a special friendship. Those two characters have a special relationship, and I sign a lot of my things more passion. So if you know the moment, you know what that means.
And have you seen any films at Frightfest? Do you have any picks for anybody?
Yes. Well, there's more I want to see. I think the top film for me yesterday that I had not seen before was called They Call Me Jeeg Robot. It is astonishing. Actually, be very excited about seeing that when it comes out. I thought The Case of Benavidez, his Argentine film, was fantastic. And then I saw a commentary for a movie that was at Frightfest last year called Road Games. Yes, and Barbara's wonderful, and that's how actually I found out about it. Abner Pastol, very talented English filmmaker. That movie is really worth seeing, and it's worth seeing more than once. So I know that's going to be out, and I think probably for sale already. So those are the three that really struck me so far, and I can't wait to see more. I'm going to be hanging out and seeing more films throughout the rest of the festival. Because I'm not just an actor in the business, I'm also a fan, and I stand in line with everybody else. And to be here and to be part of something that's on the marquee is really a dream come true. So.
Well, enjoy the rest of your weekend, and thank you for talking to me.